Well, the EU's medicines regulator has said that the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine should continue to be used because its benefits far outweigh its risks. A final ruling is expected on Thursday, but the European Medicines Agency has been alarmed that at least 12 European nations have suspended the use of the vaccine after a small number of cases, some of them fatal, of blood clots among people who have received the AstraZeneca jab. The EMA pointed out that it believed this was purely coincidental. Our Europe editor Matt Fry reports.
These nurses have a mammoth task to vaccinate nearly 33 million Spaniards by the end of the summer. But they are going home and their jabs are going nowhere.
We had the vaccination appointment at 6 in the evening and we received it as planned. But minutes after, we heard the news that the vaccine had been stopped in Spain.
In Rome, they're grappling with a third wave of infections. The public mood is desperate. And yet here, another vaccination centre is empty because AstraZeneca has been put on ice. Or here in France, where local pharmacists have finally been deployed in the national vaccine rollout, this one had to cancel all the appointments that she made because of the suspension. These headlines are in French, but they might as well be in a dozen other European languages, reflecting the countries where AstraZeneca, one of the pillars of the European vaccination programme, has been suspended because of fears about the jab causing potentially fatal blood clots. So given the obvious need for faster vaccination and the increase in infections, what is going on here? Is it precautionary science or irresponsible politics, or a bit of both? The European Medicines Agency, which gave AstraZeneca the green light for every adult at the end of January, tried to allay fears today by saying essentially that the risk of not taking the vaccine was far greater than the risk of any side effects.
At present, there is no indication that vaccination has caused these conditions. The number of thromboembolic events overall in the vaccinated people seems not to be higher than that seen in the general population.
The debate has centred mainly around AstraZeneca, even though other vaccinations using the Pfizer-BioNTech jab have also coincided with almost the same tiny number of blood clots. The EMA is widely expected to make its findings conclusive on Thursday, but there is no vaccine against political spin, and this spring is turning into a season of feverish vaccine panic around Europe.
Effectivement, comme vous le savez, mesdames et messieurs, nous sommes dans ce qui...
This was the French Prime Minister today, warning that the third wave of infections had already arrived in France and that the British variant was largely to blame. Note how hardly anyone in Europe is referring to it as the Kent variant anymore. European governments are getting the heat from their citizens and it's having political consequences. In Germany, on Sunday, Angela Merkel's party, the Christian Democrats, lost a regional election on their home turf in Baden-Württemberg, mainly because of the vaccine fiasco. If this trend continues, the CDU could lose the federal elections in September. Vaccine envy and vaccine nationalism are exposing some fundamental weaknesses at the heart of the EU. This may all blow over by the end of the week. In the Belgian city of Antwerp, they have continued to give the AstraZeneca jabs regardless of what their French, Dutch or German neighbours are doing. But even if and when the EMA gives another green light, suspicions will linger and lives will be lost because of vaccine politics.
And for more in-depth analysis of why countries are suspending the AstraZeneca vaccine, you can read our fact check. As our team report, there is no evidence that the vaccine is causing blood clots, and some experts say pausing vaccination programmes could do more harm than good. For that analysis, go to channel4.com/factcheck.